What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to go over the betting odds for every game in the NFL in Week 6. All that and much more coming your way right now! Hey Trash Talkers, over 85% of you are still not subscribed to the channel. Please be sure to hit that red subscribe button and turn on notifications, as it will help us create more daily content for you. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Alright Nick, week 6 is here and time to get our money out. It is time to make our bets for this week. And let's start off with the first game of the weekend that we see here in London. The Dolphins at the Jaguars. Well, the Jaguars' second home at least. And the Dolphins come into this one as 3-point favorites. Interesting enough, since the Jaguars usually have really good games in London. So I'm interested to see how this game plays out. But the Dolphins are minus 3-point favorites. The over-under is set at 47. And obviously you have the money line. Nick, what do you think is the safest bet for this game?
Yeah, so right now we're not sure if Tua Tagovailoa is going to make his return yet or not, but either way, I like the Miami Dolphins in this matchup. I think that they're playing better each week, that Jacoby Brissett's under center, and if Tua comes back, I like them even more. I think having them at their -3 spread is a solid, safe bet. I like them at -3.
Yeah, I agree. I think -3 definitely makes a lot of sense for the Dolphins. Moving on to our first 1 o'clock matchup of the weekend, we have the Los Angeles Rams trekking all the way to the East Coast to take on the New York Giants, the battered around New York Giants at that. The Rams come into this contest as minus 10-point favorites with an over-under set at 48.5 points. Nick, what do you think about this matchup here?
I like the matchup for the Rams this week. I think that they're going to have an easy time with this defense that's had its holes, had its problems, and I think that Matthew Stafford's looking to put his offense back where it is as one of the best in the NFL. I'm going to take them at their spread at -10. I think that they're going to score a ton of points. The Giants' offense is so depleted. I don't think they're going to be able to score too much on this Rams defense.
Yeah, I think Daniel Jones plays in this one, so it's definitely going to be interesting, but we don't know what his rapport is going to be like with Kadarius Toney. We obviously saw what it's like for Mike Glennon, but those guys practiced together with the second team. Daniel Jones was practicing with Darius Slayton, Sterling Shepard, Kenny Golladay. Kadarius Toney was really down on the list, so he may not have nearly the same production that he's going to have, and we don't know what other cast of characters are going to be able to come back this week. So I'm taking the Rams in this one as well. I'm actually going to take them at money line. I don't know if they're going to be able to cover the -10 spread. The Giants could be a sneaky team to score some points there. They're not going to contest in the game, but they could score some late points and really screw up the -10. But I like the Rams regardless, so I'll take them at money line. Next up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at the Washington Football Team. The Chiefs come into this contest as -6.5-point favorites, and the over-under is set at 54.5 points. Nick, what are your thoughts here?
I like the Kansas City Chiefs, another high-powered offense. The Washington defense, they are not the same Washington defense we have seen over the last few years. This should be a really easy game for the Chiefs. I think that the offense for the Washington Football Team under Taylor Heineke, they're hit or miss, and this Chiefs defense isn't great, but I believe that they're going to be able to hold up to the task. The Chiefs have a great matchup right now. I just don't know if they can cover the spread. That's why I'm taking them at their money line.
You know, I agree 100%. I think the Chiefs have struggled offensively to put up points, which scares me away from the over-under. I don't believe in Taylor Heineke to be able to put up too many points, even on this depleted Kansas City Chiefs secondary. So at the end of the day, I like the Chiefs overall. I'm going to take them money line as well. I think that's the safest bet here. Moving over to the Houston Texans taking on the Indianapolis Colts. The Texans find themselves as 10-point underdogs to the Colts, which is interesting with how they played last week. Vegas thinks that is just a 1 week wonder type of deal. The over-under is set at 43.5, so pretty low-scoring affair that they expect. Nick, what do you think here?
Yeah, well, this is a divisional matchup, and if we've seen anything from divisional matchups this year, we know that they're very close scoring games. Doesn't matter who the two teams are, whether they're great or bad, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a close game. And I like the Davis Mills right now. I think he's playing really good. I don't think it's just a fluke. He's going to keep it close enough where I'm safe taking the Texans at +10.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think +10 is a really good spot for the Texans. I'm surprised Vegas is willing to give up a touchdown and a field goal. I think that the Texans can put up points on a secondary and a whole defense, rather, that's been able to give up points and been susceptible to the big play. I think Brandon Cooks could take advantage of this, so I like the Texans at +10 here. Next up, we have the Green Bay Packers taking on their division rival Chicago Bears. Justin Fields taking over once again, and the Packers find themselves as -5.5 point favorites here. The over-under is set at 44.5 points. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so another divisional matchup. I don't feel any different about this game. I'm going to stick with the safe bet, the Packers at their money line. I think they're going to have an easy victory, but the Packers could make this a little bit closer than we anticipate.
Yeah, see, I think the Packers here, they have historically dominated against the Bears. And against rookie quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers has a very viable record. I'm going to take him at -5.5. I think they are going to be able to cover by at least a full touchdown. So Vegas giving you 5.5 points, I'm going to take that and say I believe they'll be able to cover and then some. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Chargers traveling across the country to the Baltimore Ravens. And this is an interesting one because the Chargers, who just put up 49 points on the Cleveland Browns, find themselves 2.5 point underdogs to the Ravens. The over-under is set at 52 points. Nick, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm surprised at this one. The Chargers playing so good. The offense is nearly unstoppable, and the Ravens defense clearly has some holes because they gave up 22 points to the Colts offense early on in that Monday night matchup. The Chargers are going to be able to put up a ton of points. I think that the Chargers are a safe bet to take at the money line. That's why I'm taking them at their spread, +2.5. Easy victory, better odds. I like the Chargers.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. I believe that the Chargers are going to win this game. So if Vegas is going to give me 2.5 points, I'm going to just say, well, they're going to win, but I'll take the 2.5 point buffer just in case. So overall, I'm going to take the +2.5. I think you're going to have better odds than the money line there. So it makes a lot of sense. Moving on, we have the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Carolina Panthers, and an interesting matchup where two teams kind of play down to their competition. The Panthers struggled last week with their offensive line woes, Sam Darnold getting battered around, and the Minnesota Vikings present an interesting threat to them with Everson Griffin and Danielle Hunter on that defensive line. Vegas thinks that they are 2.5 point favorites with an over-under set at 45.5. Do you believe this is the case, Nick?
Yeah, I think that this is going to be a close game as Vegas has it projected, but I like the defense for the Minnesota Vikings to get a few stops on Sam Darnold and the rest of the offense of the Panthers. We saw that offensive line for the Panthers being so weak. Danielle Hunter, Everson Griffin, they're going to have a day. Should be easy victory. I'm going to play it a little bit safe, and I'm going to take the Vikings at their money line.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the Vikings are susceptible to playing down, like I said earlier. And also, I think they're going to be able to attack Sam Darnold. The defense scares me. The offense can put up points. Who knows if Dalvin Cook is going to play? So I'd rather be safe here. I'll take the money line. I think the Vikings will come out on top. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions have been one of those teams that have played really hard against quality competition and then just fell apart when they played bad competition. So taking a look at the Bengals, who have a winning record going into this matchup, didn't think I'd be saying that. The Bengals are 3.5 point favorites against Detroit. Vegas understands that the Lions play up to their competition here. The over-under set at 47 points. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I disagree with Vegas on this one. I think this is going to be a runaway for the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't believe in the Detroit Lions to keep a close game here, as the Bengals are just one of those teams who've been down for so many years. They're finally up. They're not willing to go back down again. They're doing what it takes to play at their best, and I believe that they're going to continue this. They're going to really prove themselves this week against Detroit Lions. I like the Bengals at their spread at -3.5.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. And don't forget, the Lions did just lose Quintez Cephas for the season. He placed on IR, and obviously that is a big weapon that is now gone. We have to see how Amon-Ra St. Brown and Khalil Raymond are going to be put into this offense and how they're going to really focus on getting the ball out quicker and more efficient. So I like the Bengals at -3.5. I think that makes the most sense here. Next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Cleveland Browns in what should be an absolute shootout. The Cardinals saw exactly what the Chargers did, and they're licking their chops, getting ready to play offense this week. The Cardinals actually come in at +3.5-point underdogs, which is mind-blowing to me. But Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely mind-blowing. The only undefeated team left is the underdog in this matchup. Look, I know the Cleveland Browns are looking really good, but I believe in the Arizona Cardinals to continue with that undefeated streak, and with them being the underdog, I'm taking them at their spread at +3.5. I like the Cardinals in this matchup.
I like the Cardinals a lot too, and I not only like the 3.5, but if you wanted to get a little risky, I would take the over on the 49 here. I would say that, listen, when you see what the Chargers were able to do, the Browns put up 42 themselves last week. That means that the Cardinals would only have to put up a touchdown. I mean, they're going to be able to do just that. I'm going to take the over here, but I like the 3.5 point if you're trying to stay a little on the safer side. +3.5 for the Cardinals, love that. If you're going to play it a little risky, I'll take the over at 49. Next up, we have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Denver Broncos. The Raiders' first game without John Gruden as their head coach, as they are trying to look forward and get past all of the turmoil that has been brought to this franchise through his name, and now they come into this game as +3.5-point underdogs with an over-under set at 43.5. Nick, do you agree?
Yeah, well, I'm looking right at that over-under because when I look at both secondaries, they're both depleted right now. They both have their injuries, and the offensive weapons on both sides are so good that they can just get deep ball and blow this score wide open. At 43.5, that's low. I think that this is an easy over for these two teams to put up a ton of points. I like the over on this matchup.
Yeah, this is a very tough game for me, and I'm actually going to stay away from this completely. This is a game I don't want to touch because you could either see a really high-scoring game, a really low-scoring game. You could see either of these two teams win. I mean, I couldn't pick a winner if you had a gun to my head. So at the end of this day, I'm just staying away from this game. I think this is one where you count your blessings that you don't have to touch and you just live to fight another day. Next up, we have America's Game of the Week. The Dallas Cowboys traveling to New England in a rainy Foxborough day in the fall. Gotta love those trees turning, but the Dallas Cowboys come in to an outdoor stadium as 3-point favorites against the Patriots, which is surprising, seeing as how well the Cowboys have played this season and how poorly the Patriots have played. But the over-under set at 50.5. Nick, what are your thoughts here?
Yep, again, staying right at that over-under. I think that's a little high for this game. The New England Patriots defense has been playing fairly solid. The secondary definitely has its issues, and you look at the Cowboys' weapons, and they can put up points, but I believe Bill Belichick has a plan to keep this low scoring, keep the offense of the Cowboys off the field, and I think overall it's going to be a fairly low-scoring event for a Dallas Cowboys game. I'm taking the under on this matchup.
I like the under here too, and honestly, you know, I want to say the Cowboys should win, but we all know who the Cowboys are. They lose the games that they should win, so that's what scares me here. I would love to take them at -3. I just don't know if I could. I'll stick with the under, but I think that's the only play here in this game. For our Sunday Night Football matchup, we have the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in a Super Bowl rematch. Obviously, no Russell Wilson, no Juju Smith-Schuster for the Steelers. A lot of scrambling between these two teams to figure out who's going to, work on the offensive side of the ball. And the Seahawks find themselves as 5.5-point underdogs coming into Pittsburgh. The over-under set at 43. Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a very interesting matchup. With Geno Smith taking over at quarterback, we got a little glimpse last week of what it's going to be like with him under center, and I just don't know exactly what I'm getting. He looked fairly solid, but I know Geno Smith all too well from his Jets days. He can be very inconsistent, and am I going to get the bad Geno Smith from the Jets, or am I going to get the decent Geno Smith from the Seahawks? I'm not sure. This Pittsburgh offense is hit or miss right now. Who knows what's going on with Najee Harris and how they're handling that situation. I really want to stay away from this game altogether. I don't know how it could go.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. This is one of those games where I would love to take the Steelers because I think that they're the more complete team. I think the Steelers will be able to put up points, but which Geno Smith are you going to get? That's the biggest question mark here. If you wanted to really make a bet here, take the Steelers money line. I think that they're going to be able to win. I think they have the requisite pieces to put up more points than the Seahawks do. But at the end of the day, I'm with you, Nick. The safest bet here, stay away from this game. And finally, for our Monday Night Football match, we have the Buffalo Bills on the road against the Tennessee Titans. The Buffalo Bills come in at minus 5.5 point favorites with an over-under set at 54 points, a very high scoring affair that Vegas has in store. Nick, your thoughts here?
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills are the best team in the league. I don't care what anybody says. There is nobody getting in their way, especially this Tennessee Titans team who has no defense. Josh Allen's going to run train over that defense, and I believe that this is going to be a fairly high-scoring game. Will it be over 54? I don't know, and I'm not taking that risk, but I do believe that the Buffalo Bills will have more than 5.5 point lead by the end of this game. I'm taking them at their spread at minus 5.5.
The Buffalo Bills have shown a tendency to not only beat their opponents, but to break their will to live inside the confines of the football field. And we have seen over the course of the season so far that they don't care if they're up by 20, 30, 40 points. They're going to keep coming at you. They're still running their offense. They're still scoring points, which should bode well for an over-under, but I'm still scared about what they can do, and maybe they have a hiccup. I'm going to take them at minus 5.5. I think that's the best option here. I like what they're going to be able to do against a depleted secondary for the Tennessee Titans, still working out some kinks. Mike Vrabel's defense not as solid as it was just a year or even 2 years ago. So I'm going to take the Bills here. I think that their offensive weapons are going to be able to shine mightily against the Tennessee Titans. All right, well, that's going to be our betting guide for Week 6. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Let us know if you have any bet questions. If you want to run anything by us, we'd be happy to help you out. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.